The following segment is sponsored by University of Utah Health. Today, Dr. Wilbert Tillo is from the University of Utah Health, and he's here to talk about something heavy, something that's important, suicide. Thank you for being here, Doctor. I know this is something that has been in the topic of conversation a lot lately, but that's something you deal with daily. So as we talk about this, what are the warning signs that we need to look for most?
Sure. When people are feeling suicidal, it's very common for them to withdraw from other people, to feel irritable. There are some signs you can look for, like giving away possessions or talking about death or nihilistic talk about how things don't matter, life doesn't matter, nothing matters. And then also just, do they have future plans or not? If they don't seem to have any future plans, or they're not really looking forward to anything in the future, then that can be a warning sign that somebody's thinking about suicide.
Important factors to think about, and these risk factors for suicide, what are some of the other ones that you're seeing, and how can we help? What can we do? That's a big question.
Well, I just want to make sure I heard your question right. You're saying, what are the risk factors for suicide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, so many people who actually take their own lives have attempted to take their own lives before. So that's a major risk factor. People who have had a history of trauma are more likely to take their lives. People who have a mental illness of any kind, be it major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or other mental illnesses, are more likely than others to commit suicide. Women are more likely to attempt suicide, and men are more likely to actually complete suicide.
Interesting. I didn't know that fact. You mentioned these warning signs. And as we see some of those things happening with our loved ones, our friends, whoever it might be, what can we do?
Sure. I think the thing that's most helpful and interesting is that you can talk to somebody about suicide without implanting the idea in their head or increasing the risk that they will try to hurt themselves.
Interesting. What's the short form of that topic that you're talking about? I think that's very important.
Yeah, so if you're worried about somebody because they're withdrawing, they don't have future plans, they're giving things away, they have a history of mental illness, they have a history of suicide attempts, then you can ask them if they're thinking about suicide.
In a non-judgmental and helpful way.
Yeah, and so a lot of people aren't willing to say that right off, and so you have to lead into it gently. So if I'm talking to somebody about it, I'd say, well, it looks like you feel pretty badly. Have you ever thought that it might be better if you were not around? And you lead in like that, and then you can ask, have you had any thoughts that you might do something to try to hurt or kill yourself? And many times people are willing to open up about that if somebody asks.
And working together in that aspect, especially with psychiatrists, can help tremendously.
Well, I mean, obviously, most people who are suicidal don't come to me first, right? They come to their friends or family members or something like that. And I think they're afraid to talk about it because people can get pretty anxious and worried when they talk about suicide. So being really open that that's a thought a lot of people have, and being willing to explore whether that person has a plan to hurt or kill themselves, intention to hurt and kill themselves, or some means to hurt or kill themselves can be very helpful.
Well, thank you for coming on to address this topic. I know it can be uncomfortable at times, but it's very important. And with the uptick in numbers that we're hearing about, you can go to more information right here at the number at the bottom of the screen. Please contact. And thank you, Doctor, for bringing awareness to this. It's a big problem, and there's big solutions that we can help with. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.